They say love can destroy you, but what if you refuse? A Stoic doesn't cry at the edge of the abyss. He observes it, breathes, and steps forward. While others drown in pain, the Stoic grows stronger. How do you find peace inside emotional chaos? The answer isn't magic, but it is transformative. Today, you'll uncover the true power of philosophy when your world is falling apart. The human mind resists pain, but the Stoic embraces it. Why? Because he knows pain isn't defeated by running. It's mastered by understanding. Marcus Aurelius wrote in times of war and loss, yet stayed composed. What did he understand that we don't? That's the dilemma we'll solve together in this video, step by step. A breakup is more than losing someone. It's losing a shared story, a joint identity. But the Stoic isn't defined by loss. He's defined by control of his mind. The first step isn't to stop feeling, it's to stop resisting the feeling. It's not what happens to you, but how you react, Epictetus said. In Heartbreak, most seek distraction. The Stoic does the opposite. He stays in the moment. He watches pain like a scientist watches nature. That mental distance isn't coldness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that what's outside is borrowed, and the only thing truly yours is how you respond to it. It's not about suppressing emotions, but not becoming enslaved to them. The wounded heart craves comfort, but the trained mind offers direction. The Stoic doesn't avoid pain, he transforms it into power. Every uncried tear is an act of strength. What if learning to suffer is the real art of living? The Stoic sees heartbreak not as tragedy, but as training. It's a test of character, a forge for the soul. While others ask, why me? The Stoic asks, what now? This shift in perspective breaks the cycle of self-pity. Pain becomes the teacher, not the enemy. The wound becomes wisdom, and with each ache, the self evolves into something unshakable. Emotions rise like storms, but the Stoic learns to sail within them. He doesn't silence his sorrow, he navigates it with clarity. Pain is information. It reveals where we've attached our peace to something fragile. The Stoic regains power by taking ownership of his thoughts. He isn't cold, he's conscious. We are taught that healing requires time, but the Stoic knows healing requires understanding. He doesn't wait for peace to return, he builds it, thought by thought. He deconstructs pain, asking, what is this feeling made of? Where does it come from? And then, like removing poison from water, he filters his mind clean. The modern world rushes to escape discomfort, music, scrolling, noise. But the Stoic chooses silence. In stillness, he meets his truest self. That quiet isn't emptiness, it's revelation. There, in the echo of his thoughts, he doesn't hear despair. He hears clarity. A clarity that only comes when nothing distracts from the truth. Most believe control means fixing the outside world. The Stoic knows better. True control is internal. He doesn't try to make the other person regret leaving. He doesn't chase closure. He becomes his own closure. And in that act, he finds a freedom that heartbreak could never take away. Breakups often feel like identity collapse. Who are you without that person? The Stoic answers, more than before. Because now, stripped of illusions, you're left with truth. You no longer perform for love, you return to yourself. And in that return, you rediscover a version of you that never needed validation to exist. Society praises moving on fast. New dates, new distractions. But the Stoic knows speed means nothing if the mind is still imprisoned. He doesn't run, he reflects. Each memory becomes a lesson, not a scar. By pausing, he breaks the chain of repetition. He doesn't repeat the past, he rewrites it. Grief to a Stoic isn't shameful, it's sacred. It's the proof you loved deeply and lived honestly. But pain doesn't need to last forever. The Stoic chooses to honor the past without being haunted by it. That's the essence of resilience, to remember without reliving, and to feel without becoming consumed. Even in heartbreak, the Stoic finds meaning. Fate chooses events. I choose my reaction, said Epictetus. The end of a relationship isn't the end of your story, it's just a turning point. A chapter closing, not your identity collapsing. Loss is real, but so is growth. And growth is always optional, until you make it necessary. The Stoic doesn't numb himself, he sharpens himself. Pain isn't the enemy, comfort is, because comfort hides truth, while pain reveals it. And in that revelation, the Stoic becomes untouchable. Not because he feels nothing, but because he understands everything he feels. And through understanding, he becomes unbreakable. People fear solitude, but the Stoic sees it as power. In being alone, he finds alignment. He no longer asks for someone to complete him because he is already whole. Solitude isn't absence, it's presence, sharpened. The world may have taken love away, but it can't take his self-possession. That is sacred, that is untouchable. Forgiveness is strength. The Stoic doesn't forgive because it's easy, but because it's freeing. Holding on to blame ties him to what hurt him, but releasing it, that's power. It's not about excusing the past, it's about refusing to be chained to it. Forgiveness is how the Stoic takes back control of his story. The mind of a Stoic is disciplined, but not rigid. He adapts, not by bending to chaos, but by reshaping his frame of meaning. He asks, what can this teach me? What can this strip away that no longer serves me? In loss, he finds clarity. In endings, he finds beginnings. He becomes a sculptor of his own becoming. While others measure healing in days, the Stoic measures it in insight. Each thought, each moment of discomfort becomes data. He doesn't just feel better, he becomes better. He builds a philosophy out of his pain, brick by brick, until what once crushed him becomes the very thing that strengthens his foundation. The Stoic doesn't erase love, he repositions it. Love, he realizes, wasn't wrong, it was misplaced. And now he returns that energy inward. The affection once given freely becomes self-respect. The care once directed outward becomes discipline. Love isn't lost, it's redirected. And that shift changes everything. Healing for the Stoic isn't loud, it's invisible. It happens in decisions no one sees, getting up early, reading a page, refusing bitterness. While the world watches for grand gestures, the Stoic refines his inner world, slowly, quietly, unshakably. That's real transformation, the kind that doesn't ask to be noticed to be real. Revenge is noise. Peace is strategy. The Stoic doesn't seek to prove his worth through confrontation, but through mastery. His silence isn't weakness, it's calibration. Let others chase validation. He moves with purpose, because true power doesn't scream, it simply remains. And in remaining, it reshapes everything around it. Even pain, if understood, becomes a map. The Stoic uses it to navigate his next chapter. Not to avoid love, but to love wiser. Not to fear emotion, but to channel it. Every scar becomes a signature of strength, and with each one, he walks further. Not away from love, but toward a version of it that doesn't destroy him. At the end of it all, the Stoic doesn't just survive heartbreak. He redefines it. It's no longer the end of something precious, but the beginning of self-possession. He's not untouched by love, he's elevated by it, transformed by the pain but not broken, changed but not lost. That's not survival. That's ascension. And now, as he looks ahead, the Stoic knows, not everyone who leaves is a loss, and not every ending is a failure. He walks forward, not to escape, but to evolve. Because in Heartbreak, he didn't just lose someone, he found himself. If you're still here, maybe it's because part of you is ready to do the same.